can I have another wine?
You're listening to the Giggle Gang podcast.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
If you want it, just come get it.
A Giggle Gang podcast.
Just be myself.
For fuck's sake.
You know, sometimes people pay me to say ridiculous shit, and sometimes I just say it for free.
Jesus Christ.
You're listening to the Giggle Gang podcast.
Tired, man. This is too long.
Why have you chosen to do the Fringe for a month?
I don't know, because I'm crazy.
Has it been fun though? Like, has it been like good bits of it?
I think so. But it's like, I feel like I'm a Japanese tourist.
Okay.
Like, I'm taking pictures of everything, but I need to get home in order to see how I felt about the whole trip, to look at the picture.
So like, so you're enjoying it while it's happening, but like afterwards you might have a different opinion.
No, the other way around. I don't enjoy it while
you
it's
hate it while it's happening. But maybe you might get home and like be like, oh my god, like best experience of my life.
I'm gonna miss this so much. But now I'm like, everything's aching.
So are you roasting every night?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow. And you write the roast jokes moments before you have to roast.
Not moments. It's like I have a whole day.
Okay.
And yeah.
You have a new opponent every night.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, if they're all fat, it's like, how many fat jokes can you do? You know what I mean? It's like there's jokes that work for a fat guy and the next fat guy.
What about fat girls?
Oh my god, it's a different dynamic. The audience. This is like, I'm a guy, and next to a woman, they have the advantage, the emotional advantage.
But last night, that didn't faze you at all. You smashed it last night.
Yeah, because my opponent wasn't that experienced.
Okay. She was an idiot.
Huh?
She was an idiot, basically.
No, man. She didn't have that much experience. But every time I battle women, it's a bit more difficult. And I know I have an advantage when I'm battling English guys.
Okay.
I have the advantage of being foreign.
Okay.
And having an accent.
Where are you from?
Romania.
Romania.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long have you lived in England?
7 years.
Okay. So you understand like British culture. You've lived here longer than I have.
Yeah.
And like I've got more of a British accent than you do.
I'm not trying to fit in. This is not this is I've spoken a different language all my life. Why would I try to speak like this? Like I have plums up my ass.
Like you have plums up your ass?
Yeah.
Fuck. Is that how you think British people sound?
Yeah. Okay. You don't? Have you not seen Shitty Bang Bang, or what's the name of the?
It's Chitty Bang Bang, but you say Shitty Bang Bang because you're Romanian.
No, because I have a personality. Can't I just be an individual? Can I just have to be Romanian? You know what I mean?
The Romanian Victor Patrascan?
Yes.
Pronounced correctly?
Almost, yeah. But it's good.
How do you pronounce the surname?
Patrascan.
Patrascan.
Yeah, not like that. I said a totally different word. I don't understand why you English, like native speakers, you hear a word and you go like, I'm saying it just how it sounds. Do you not realize that you're saying a different sound? You're making a different sound with your throat.
I'm just going to stop. Victor.
Yeah.
I can't get Victor wrong. I went to school with a guy called Victor Volna from Germany.
Victor Von?
No, Victor Volna.
Oh, okay.
Volna.
Volner.
But it was with a W. It's like it was like Wona, but Volna. That's how you say in Germany.
Were his parents Nazis, which is why they left the country?
Yes, very extremist.
Yeah.
White, no, not white supremacists. Are the Nazis white supremacists? No, they are.
Only the good ones.
Only the good ones. So I wanted to ask you because
please.
This podcast is not about comedy, right?
Oh.
I don't care about what you've done in comedy.
Yeah.
I care.
I have done nothing. Which is
I care about the fact that you're a comedian.
Yeah.
All right, and you've had a life before comedy.
Yeah. Well.
So, how did you leave Romania and move to England?
I came here to do a master's in film, I came here to do comedy because all the comedians that I watched or admired were English speaking.
Okay.
Seinfeld, Chris Rock,
But they're Americans, though.
Yeah, but they speak English. I can speak English. Well, why can't I do what they do?
Why would you not relocate to America instead of
Because
like
it's
London?
difficult to get a visa.
Okay, so London was easier.
Yeah. Romania is part of the European Union. I don't even need a passport to be in this country.
Okay.
I don't have a passport.
What about political climate at the moment? Brexit. Does that situation change?
I don't know what's gonna happen because it's chaos now. So it's a very weird anxiety because it's very uncertain.
Does it genuinely worry you?
Yeah, if I can't stay here, if they make it difficult, or if I have to like fill in papers to stay here, I don't want to do that kind of shit.
So you've been here for 7 years,
Yeah.
but you would give up a 7-year life to
I'm not
not
giving
fill
it up.
in a
It's not
form.
like if I leave the country, I haven't lived for 7 years.
But you'd have to restart somewhere else. You could just fill in a form. Like, is filling in the form
Yeah.
like the limit for you?
Yeah. Yeah, would if I go somewhere else, it's not like there's not going to be people there. I'm not moving to Siberia. I'm going to another place with human beings.
Where would you go? Where's the next place?
I don't know. Europe seems quite interesting now in terms of the standard. Like the English speaking scene is growing, and there's opportunity to do shows, and there's audiences, there's expats, there's people who speak English because they're just exposed. They study in school. There's people in like weird relationship, like he's from China, she's from Venezuela. They don't speak each other's language, but they understand this through English, and they want to go out and do something that they both will enjoy.
Yeah.
And they go to an English-speaking show. You know what I mean? To have fun. And there's Europe seems quite interesting. So it's not like this country is the be all and end all of the fucking life on the planet Earth, which is what the British want us to believe. But you know what I mean? Like I came over here and I thought that the British is a new species of human, because that's how they present themselves in books. Like, oh, the British sense of humor. It's like old ladies falling down the stairs is hilarious in any country. It's not like the British have invented old women falling downstairs. You know what I mean?
How often are you pushing women downstairs?
I don't have to push them. They slip because their joints don't work. They lived a life and they didn't learn anything. One of the things that they didn't learn is how to go downstairs not like cows. Cows and old women are the only people who can't.
Old British women?
No, just all Chinese women, women from Burkina Faso, Belarusian women.
I feel like with your accent, I can't accuse you of being racist. Because
Why is this racist?
Well, it could be. Okay, so if I said it in my accent,
Yeah.
it could be seen as racist.
Oh my
But
God!
because
All you Westerners, man, you make everything weird. It's like because you couldn't help yourselves to like pillaging and raping half the world, and now it's weird for
I'm
everyone.
Australian.
Huh?
I'm from Australia.
And that makes you not having killed the Aborigine? Oh, sorry. I take it back.
What do you know about Australian history?
You killed people with dark skin.
Okay.
All of them.
I think with your accent, it's just made so much more real.
I'll take that as a
I
compliment.
personally haven't killed anyone with dark skin.
Yeah, what do you feel guilty then? What have you done?
I don't feel guilty. I just feel like I can't be derogatory to somebody else because of what the people where I came from have done.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So I think white guilt is like a real thing.
I'm not white.
You are white though.
Yeah, but I'm not of the whites who did. I'm of the whites who've never had a chance.
Why have you never had a chance though?
Because Romanians were never exposed to. We've never been an empire. The only thing that we're doing is just kind of segregating gypsies.
Okay.
But
who is like Romania's like go-to country? Is it Russia? Is it
what do you mean go-to for what?
like for like guidance and support? If you've never been an empire, who's been your empire, or have you had no empire?
We can think for ourselves.
Okay.
It's like we have schools who know how to count and read and write.
But there's a lot of places with schools, like they have schools in Samoa, but Samoa looks to Australia for their guidance.
Yeah. What?
If that makes sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. It's like we've always lived under the umbrella of like Russian attacks and Tatars and Ottomans and Hungarian and like everyone wanted to invade,
Okay.
but we want to just be ourselves. We
So Russia and Hungary tried to invade Romania.
Oh yeah, they have, and they've taken a lot of. But this is never ending. This is like the fucking. I'm supposed to hate Turkish people or Russians or because.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Like Turkey and like Russia had like taken over Romania.
Well, they
And,
have
like,
historically, but it's like.
But you've not lost your Romanian identity.
No.
Okay.
But but I understand there's value in having Romanian identity and national identity, but I feel like for how nice it is to have this identity, it's always been used against us. It's this whole, like, it creates more division than it helps.
Okay. It creates more division within Romania,
No,
or
within
from
human
Romania
beings.
to the rest
With
of the world?
amongst humans, because you meet someone else from a different country and they're supposed, you think, oh, they're different, but no, they're like the people at home, right? Like we're talking here, it's not like I'm a different creature. It's like I'm like someone you've met at some point in your life, and you're like someone like I've met, but we're from the different side of the world, right?
Yeah, I guess.
But we're supposed to have different identities because we're the same kind of person, man.
I get you.
Like human beings, deep down, we're all the same.
Absolutely. So what's your opinion then of the way that the British Empire, the English people that you've been a part of for 7 years, their attitude towards foreigners through their political decisions when it comes to Brexit, and just through their attitude in general when it comes to Europe and anyone from outside of British speaking? Because I felt it as well, even though I feel like I'm closer to them than maybe you are.
Yeah. But it's also this idea of the other, of another culture, another country, another, like the language. You see, we understand each other through English. Like I had the choice, you didn't have a choice in learning this language.
Yeah. I don't know any other languages.
Well, that's your fault.
How many other languages do you know?
Personal responsibility needs to be a thing.
How many languages do you know?
2.
English and Romanian.
Yeah.
That's not that amazing though.
Yeah, but you don't know 2.
But like I know English. Like that's like the most important one.
No, it's not. Chinese is more important than English.
How many people do you know that speak Chinese?
A couple.
A couple. How many people do you know that speak English?
More than a couple.
Almost everyone you know.
Yeah. But the problem is because I don't understand the Chinese, but I would love to talk to them.
But don't they understand English?
Not all of them, no, because they have to study it in China.
So you know Chinese people that don't understand English. I feel like English is like the universal. Like
I know Chinese people that do understand English, but I want to know the Chinese people who don't understand English and see what they're on about.
Do you feel like they've got different shit to say than the people that are the people that are Chinese but they only speak Chinese?
Yeah, in the same way that every individual has a different like opinion and story, and you know they go like, oh, I like pizza, I like bagels, I like, you know what I mean? Whatever they like. I don't know.
Dogs. Chinese people like dogs.
All right, that's racist. Yeah. Right, I didn't go there, but you had to make it weird.
Right. Let me prove it, okay? Because I
what?
live. The Chinese people like dogs, okay?
Yeah.
Right. I live opposite a Chinese restaurant in Manchester, okay?
Yeah.
They're not in China.
Yeah.
They're in Manchester,
Yeah.
okay? From the hours of like 4 o'clock when they open to about 8 o'clock, you don't hear any noise from it, okay? From 8 o'clock till 12 o'clock, all you hear is the barking of dogs from the Chinese restaurant.
Come on,
where
it's just people talking in Chinese. I know to your racist mind it sounds like they're barking, but it's the language that they speak.
I know what a fucking dog sounds like. These people are legitimate. I would never order Chinese from these people. Because I don't know what is chicken, what is duck, and what is dog.
They don't do that because they're Chinese. They do that because they're crazy people. Just talk to other Chinese people and you'll see that they're individuals with other feelings.
I'm not saying that everyone in China eats dog, but I'm saying that there is a breed of Chinese people that left China and still consume canine dogs.
Isn't
legitimately.
That and like the same thing twice, canine and dog?
Canine, like real dogs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you know how in England you can say like dog is like a derogatory term for like a man or a woman. I'm not saying they eat people.
Yeah.
I'm saying they eat real life four-legged, barking dogs.
Coming from the guy who comes from a country that puts bugs on the Barbie.
Witchetty grubs are fucking good.
What?
What bugs are you talking about? Witchetty grubs or shrimps or prawns?
Shrimp and prawn. That's bugs of the sea, man.
Nah, they're beautiful. They're beautiful.
Yeah, dogs. Really? How many people have... how many people have you met and asked, what's your favorite animal? And people go, shrimp. I love shrimp because they're beautiful
No one
creatures.
says shrimp.
Exactly. Everyone says dogs because they're more beautiful.
So it's weirder to eat them then. Do you know what a witchetty grub is though?
No.
Okay, a witchetty grub is literally. Do you know what a grub is? Like a worm. It's like a thick worm.
Okay.
Basically. Imagine like a worm shaped like a normal sausage, like a hot dog sausage.
Yeah.
You know, like British sausages are really fat,
Yeah.
and like American hot dog sausage a bit thinner.
I have a question. When people ask, hey, do you know what this is? And they don't know, people immediately assume like, oh, they probably want to know. No. Like you asked me, do you know what it is? And I was like, no. And then you started by telling me what it is. And I'm like, I don't care. But I appreciate it. I appreciate like we're learning. I feel like this podcast is for people who don't know. And yeah, they should be listening.
Fuck. Stupid people.
Okay, that's your audience. If you want to treat it like that, okay.
Fuck them.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It feels like this whole identity thing is creating more division than it's helping.
Do you think it's creating everyday division, or
Yeah.
do you think it's creating ideological division?
It's
Explain.
because people it creates the idea of like, oh, you must be so different because you're a man or a woman or come from Africa or Asia or South America. Deep down, everyone understands what it feels to love, how it feels to care for something, how it feels to be happy, how it feels to feel bad, how it feels to lose people. It's like, I have this example where it's like, you know Billie Holiday?
No.
Anyway, she was a singer in the United States, a black lady. She performed between like 1930s, 1950s in the United States. She lived during Jim Crow. She had a horrible life. And she's supposed to be something else. I listen to her song and I go like, I know
What do
exactly
you mean
what this...
she's supposed to be something else?
She's supposed to be like American. She's supposed to be a woman. She's supposed to be black. She's supposed to have lived 100 years ago.
Okay.
But when she sings about heartbreak, it doesn't make me go like, what the hell is this lady talking about? I understand exactly what she's talking about.
Right, okay.
Because we're the same.
Right, okay.
That's
So
what
she's
I'm trying
supposed
to
to
say.
be something else to you.
To anybody.
Okay.
Because this is what this identity, because it's like, oh, I'm this and this and that. And it's, no, you're human first. And all of these things are surface. They're small. They don't matter that much, I feel.
So the elements that make a person individual,
Yeah, they're just, yeah.
it's just filler.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Yeah, it's like different topics of pizza. It's still pizza.
okay, that makes more sense. Right, a margarita is the same as like
Yeah.
a meat feast.
Yeah.
You can have more toppings on your pizza, but at the end of the day, you're still the same product.
Yeah.
Right? Whether you come from here or you come from there, we all the
I
same.
feel like humans are like eggs. We're just different shades. We're all fragile and we break easily, but we all come out of a chick's vagina. That's the human condition. Everyone goes through that.
Is that your joke, or have
Yeah.
you stolen that from someone else?
Why would I say someone else's joke?
I don't know.
I can't come up with clever shit like that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Maddie.
It was just so profound.
That's the kind of guy I am.
So do you spend a lot of time trying to think about where different humans fit into your perspective of the world?
I don't try. It totally makes sense. It doesn't make sense, all the things that I hear around myself. And I don't understand why people don't say this. Because it feels like this makes sense. Because it's like I've met people from all over the world.
Okay.
Different everything. Every like difference that we find in people, I've met someone that is that kind of characteristic. And at the bottom, they're all afraid of this fucking life that we're part of and why we're here. And everyone is the same child inside their hearts. Like I live in London and I have like Muslim neighbors with like the garments and the hats and the shirts and the things, and Hasidic Jews neighbors with the curly hair and the hats and the thing, and Polish and all sorts of people. The kids are all the same, regardless of where they're from. They're all just running around, pushing each other, laughing, screaming, playing. But the adults are weirdos.
Okay.
The adults are indoctrinated with all sorts of ideas about their station. But the kids, we're all that child afraid.
So can you tell me then what a Romanian child or a young Romanian's upbringing is? Because with this podcast, there's a lot of listeners in England, and there's a lot of listeners in Australia. And you might think that Australia and England are very similar. Right? I think they're very different. That's because I grew up in one of those places.
Did you have parents?
Yes, absolutely.
Did you go to school?
Both parents went to school. I went to church.
Were you hungry?
No, I went to university.
Were you ever hungry? Do you eat during the day? Do you drink water and liquids?
Of course, yeah.
Do you care for people? You have people who care for you?
Yeah.
Exactly. Everyone goes through that.
But what is it like in Romania compared to these places?
It's like, I don't know. Like, I grew up with, like, a single mother, just raised by her, and so I have that experience. And I feel like a lot of people that I meet and connect with have lived in that kind of awkward, like not the traditional way of having a family. And
do you know your father?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he just wasn't there for your childhood. Okay.
So yeah.
And like going to school each day, would your mom like walk you to school, drive you to school? Or
no, she worked all day.
You would just
I'm
walk
one of
yourself?
those kids. Yeah, the school wasn't that far from where I lived, so I just had a key around my neck for the house. Left the house, went to school, came back. Yeah. And
you just let yourself in?
Yeah.
And just come and go as you please?
Yeah. It's like I was a child. I could open a door. That's all it takes.
I know. Like I could open a door as well, but like I had the privilege of like my dad having a good job, so my mum didn't have to work.
Yeah.
So like during the day she would like do my washing and make my bed and look after all my shit, and then she would come and get me from school and she would take me home, and there would be like a plan of activities when I got home of like what we were going to do.
Well, that's class. It's a big difference that if we were talking about differences is class. Unfortunately, money is. And you can see this festival, right? You can see the difference between the free fringe, the paid fringe. The fact that the people from the paid fringe, they look with disgust. Like, this woke guy, the woke people, the very, like, they dress like communists. They dress like they can't afford clothes, so they're wearing hand-me-downs from their older brothers and sisters. It's like trousers they're not the proper length.
They don't make it all the way to the ankle.
Yeah, they're a weird like thing. Like I remember my mom when I was a kid used to see me like that, and you look like you're nobody's child. It's like you look like no one can take care of you. Because I'm gonna get you a new pair of trousers. And this is the kind of people, and I give them flyers, and they look at me with disgust. And that's the real difference. There were people in the show with like from all over the world, all sorts of skin colors, all sorts of genders, all sorts of whatever. There was a lady yesterday like covered in piercing. Like I don't know what her skin color is because there were piercings all around. She came to the show. She was lovely. She listened to my pretentious shit, and but the rich kids. I know people from all over the world, all sorts of things. I don't have any rich friends.
Really?
Yeah?
I feel like a dick, but you have a rich friend here.
Are you rich? Why do you dress like this?
I don't. Because I feel like now, right? So I'm afforded a very lucky position where I have a talent and an ability, okay? And throughout my university degree, throughout my working life, even when I was at school, and thanks to the fact that I saw my parents' work ethic and I was almost able to take part of what they did really well and monetize that and build it into an enterprise, I never have to worry about how much things cost and money at all. I never think, oh, I don't have enough money. Okay, but I'm very tight with my money.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know why, because I've never had to worry about, like, oh, I'm hungry, or I don't have enough money, but I always have this fear that maybe if I don't act like I act like I don't have a lot of money, because, like, that's safe. Whereas if you have a lot of money, you act like you don't, then you always have money, if that makes sense. Whereas I feel like I see people that have, like, same amount of money as me, but they act like they have more than they have, and then they end up having nothing. And that's like a huge fear of mine, because I don't want to be a failure, but I also don't want to be like flashy. I don't want to be like, oh, look at all this cash, I've got the best phone and the best shit, and I'll do this and I'll pay for this and I'll pay for that. Because then you're just a dick, and then you're like buying your friends, and people don't hang out with you because they like you. They hang out with you because they feel like they can get something from you. You're not here today because you felt like you could get something from me. You're here today because this is going to be an interesting conversation. We'll have fun for an hour, and then we'll both go and live our lives afterwards. But, like, in terms of a financial situation, right, I don't know what your financial situation is.
I'm poor.
Okay, you're poor, that's fine, but a lot of comedians are. A lot of comedians are, right?
Yeah, there's kids in Africa who don't have something to eat. That doesn't make me feel better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, like, I've never been poor in comedy. However, I feel like maybe you're doing better at comedy than I am, because you put all of your eggs into the comedy basket. Everything else...
No, it's because I'm a comedy genius, but that's beside the point.
But, like, I came up to the Fringe for 1 week, last week, and the reason why I did that is because my job said that I could.
Yeah.
Right? I have someone dictating to me what I can and can't do when it comes to comedy. Whereas you're very free. Yeah. You come up here for a week, a month, it doesn't matter.
This is exactly one of the issues with the class thing. It's you think poverty is something interesting. There is this is what I feel. This is what I was trying to say with the short trousers. It's this, not, what's the word? Fetishization.
Okay.
Poverty.
Okay.
Which is it's like, I know people, there's hotels in prisons, like all prisons, and people sleep in that place to feel how it is to be in prison. But the reality is the people who actually have to live there.
Hang on.
Nobody. That's what I'm talking.
You can pay to be in prison for a night, just to feel what it feels like, but you get a distorted version.
That's what camping is being homeless for. I went to Latitude this year, right?
Okay.
Like I did. I did comedy at Latitude, not on the main stage because that's for people with money. I did like a smaller thing with like theater based. I did like stand up. It was very cool, very nice, like vibe, and people coming in, people from all over Europe. It was a very nice group of people. But everyone who went there was middle class.
Okay.
Everyone paid, like a family, 2 parents and 2 kids had to pay £1,000 for a weekend to be at Latitude. Yeah.
Where is Latitude Festival?
This is like. I don't know. It's just
Close
in
to
the
London?
forest. No, it's actually 2-3 hours from London.
South or north?
Northeast.
Northeast. Okay.
Yeah, like people. If people want to go, I don't know exactly.
Okay.
Anyway, it was just a place. I got there by taking like 3 trains and 2 buses, and the thing is, everyone was just, oh my God, with just plums up their ass, man. Just people in tents. And you know what, it was weird? Just because it's horrible. Like, I live on a couch now, right? In London. Like, with the guy that I do the roast battles with.
Okay.
Like, he has a house, and he's renting, of course. But he lets me stay on his couch for like a few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the reality of being poor. And people pay £1,000 to be in a tent and sleep in a sleeping bag, which is a thing that I don't have a choice for, right? The weird thing is, man, like some of the tents were just normal tents, you know, these tents that you find in shops. But some of the tents were like the cowboys, you know, the white canvas tents
Yeah.
with like sticks coming out of the top.
Like a teepee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kind of tents that people used to like push Native Americans in and give them blankets with smallpox. That's the kind of people that I wanted to entertain. People that I did jokes about Jesus and people were just left. That kind of cunt. Like, oh, this is too much. This is uncomfortable. Oh, you said vagina. Oh my God. Oh, and that's a problem. Race, man. This is just superficial.
Do you feel like as well, possibly, that the topics that you were discussing, although they might be relevant and they need to be talked about, the fact that you may have a different accent and a different background means that it makes people feel uncomfortable because they almost like can't hear it from you?
That's preconception, and I don't care about what they think. I just want to do my thing.
Okay. Fair enough. So did you overall, apart from like the sets you did on stage, the experience that you had at Latitude Festival, you hated it?
Yeah, it was
Interesting.
£9 falafel.
And is that the reason why you hated it?
Yeah.
The food was too expensive.
It's for the falafel. Do you know what falafel is?
Yes, it's like
exactly.
imitation. It's not even meat. It's just like fucking green shit ground up.
That says your class right there. You don't know what falafel is.
I know exactly what falafel is.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's vegetarian, but like I've eaten falafel and I've been like, oh, okay, like I don't like it.
That's great falafel. I love it. There's a place here in Edinburgh. Try it out. It's Palmyra.
Okay.
It's by like George Square, I think.
This is not a sponsored post, but continue.
No, man, this is like 3 guys and the menu is like they make pizza and falafel and like kebab. That's it.
What is
simple.
falafel? Isn't it chickpeas?
That's it.
Isn't that hummus?
Yeah, hummus is the paste.
What's is it tabbouleh?
The tabbouleh is something else. It's made by out of aubergine, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So
but there's green in it. There's green in tabbouleh. I thought like falafel was like tabbouleh and a hummus and all this shit. Like
just ground up chickpeas with other stuff in there. It's like they make it into like a meatball. They fry it. They put it in a wrap with hummus, salad, and sauce. It's beautiful.
Are you vegetarian?
No.
But do you not eat meat?
Yeah, I do, but not that often. I eat a lot of. I like cheese. I hate vegetarians who go like, yeah, you can cut down on cheese. Why are we cutting down on cheese? Just cut down on other shit that you're doing.
Cheese is nice.
It's like so wonderful. So many varieties of cheese, milk, like French cheese, moldy cheese, white cheese, soft cheese, cheddars, parmesan. Why would you give this up? Just give up makeup. Makeup. Do people need to wear war paint when they go out dancing to pull and get chlamydia? Do people need fucking mica stone from like children in India who like die in holes because like fucking idiots just want to sparkle? That's the problem. Really, it's cows farting. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? You stop farting, you fat. Not, you know what I mean? Like I get you.
So my girlfriend, she's vegetarian, okay, but she loves cheese and she loves makeup, okay. Like literally her 2 favorite things behind not killing animals is cheese and makeup.
Yeah.
Are you aware of any cruelty behind cheese and makeup?
Yeah, but I'm so if I like I don't understand this thing, man. It's like I grew up in a village. My grandparents basically raised me, right? And I grew up around animals.
Okay.
That we all ate all of them.
Okay.
So none of them survived to this day because we ate all of the animals.
So you would have like a pig that would be like your friend, and then the next like week he'd be like your dinner.
Not your friend. What do you think we live?
Romania?
Yeah, but we don't live with the pig. You don't go like, oh, this is my best friend. Let's watch cartoons together. No, you just raise some animals, but you don't kick them. You don't like treat them badly, and that's what they're for.
Okay.
It's like this is how life is. We evolved to the point where we're at because we started cooking meat.
So you would come to the conclusion, even before the animal had died, that you were going to eat it. Like you understood that process.
Why would you raise an animal? Just to look at a pig? piglets are not that attractive to look at. They're disgusting and they're dirty. They shit everywhere. And if you fall into the pig pen, it's like that's how you can get rid of a body.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was that show? Is it Snatch?
Yeah, Snatch.
Snatch, the film where he feeds the body to the
that's true.
pig.
Yeah. And Hannibal. There's a lot of films that do that.
I
And
watched
it's true.
Snatch like a week ago.
Yeah,
It's very
it's good.
exciting.
Yeah.
Good film.
Yeah. By the way, Eastern European gypsies don't look like Brad Pitt.
Really?
That's Irish gypsies.
I know, because like English and Irish gypsies, there's like almost, do you know who Tyson Fury is, the boxer, the Gypsy King?
Yeah.
Like,
No, he's not gypsy. Well, he's
He
a
was.
type of gypsy.
he was a gypsy.
But the problem is skin color, because gypsy population in Eastern Europe comes from India. And
like India, the country India in Asia, that came to Eastern Europe, couldn't buy real estate. And
about
had to travel.
1,000 years ago. They're a traveling. It's a traveling group of people. That's the culture. But a lot of people.
the idea of a gypsy that you weren't able to buy real estate, whether it was because of money, class.
No, they were slaves.
They're slaves.
They were slaves.
Okay, explain.
They were slaves hundreds of years ago. They were slaves. Also based on skin color. That's why slavery was a horrible thing, because you could people couldn't escape, right? So they used to have like white slaves, like Greek times, like Plato was a slave for a few years.
Okay.
The people noticed that a slave ran away, and then he blends into the crowd because he was white. He looks like everyone else. So that's when they started having slaves of different skin colors. Because then when you saw him on the street, you go like, oh, that's obviously a slave, because look at the skin color.
Right, okay.
So you can't escape that.
Okay.
And that's the basis of racism, that's the basis of the problems that you were talking about earlier. And that's a problem in Eastern Europe. There's segregation when it comes to gypsies. There, in certain parts of town, there's, like in Slovakia, there's all sorts of places where they build walls between the white part, the Slovakian part, or the Slovenian, or the Romanian, or Hungarian part of the town, and the gypsy part. I used to, I grew up in, I went to school with kids with darker skin that they didn't have like a clear connection to any gypsy family. So they consider themselves Romanian, but no one else considers them Romanian just because of the skin color. It's a horrible problem.
So you could even get ahead. You could go from gypsy to not a gypsy, but because of your skin color, not because of your socioeconomic class, but because of your skin color, you get profiled as a gypsy, even if you do have your own home.
Yeah, like
and
I
you're
remember,
a pillar
like
of the community.
Teachers were meaner and treated kids with darker skin differently than everyone else.
In a disrespectful way, or?
Of course. Oh no.
They just don't. They like don't think they're as intelligent. Is that like the
or trustworthy, or all the stereotypes about
Okay. And what's... I don't want you to obviously be racist, okay? But what's your opinion of those people? Did you find, because what I find, and it might be controversial to say, okay, but I was born in New Zealand, okay? And New Zealand has a nice white, settlers that came to New Zealand. They also have the indigenous people, and the same as the indigenous people in Australia, okay? They're Maoris or they're Aboriginals, okay? And I have a lot of respect for those people, okay? But some of the people that I came into contact with, they didn't do themselves an awful lot of favors in the sense of they were treated with disrespect. They were treated as a lower class citizen. However, they also behaved like they didn't deserve respect, and they didn't deserve to be on the same class as us. Is that the same in Romania? Is they behaved how they were treated?
Because if you're a human being, you understand why that happened. It's a vicious circle, and you can't treat people around you with respect if you've never known what that feels like.
Right.
The thing is, If no one treats you, if everyone tells you something all your life, most people end up that, regardless of their skin color and anything.
Yep.
It's the self-perpetuating lie.
Yep.
It's the problem with national identity. It's the problem with all sorts of identity. You start believing in the stories that people are telling you about yourself.
It's the same thing as well. When I interview British people on this podcast, every single British person I speak to had consumed a considerable amount of alcohol before the legal drinking age, okay? If we were to do this podcast in Australia, okay, I didn't drink until I was 18, okay?
Yeah.
When you're 18, you're allowed to drink.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, whereas my girlfriend, okay, had her first drink when she was like 13, okay? A lot of my friends were drinking when they were like 11 and 12 years old, but it's because that's what they're told.
Yeah.
British people drink. Your parents drink. Your grandparents drink.
Mm-hmm.
You drink.
Yeah.
Would you like a drink? Here's a drink. Have a drink. Buy a drink.
Yeah, it's a normal thing.
Absolutely.
And if you're pushed out of what you think is normal, what you're presented as normal, and you're never told that you're normal, even by your parents, no one is telling you that. It takes a great deal of self-awareness and like thinking about what we are and everything. There are people who escape that prison.
Normal is so subjective, though, don't you think? Because I feel like normal for you...
There is an idea.
Around that way, mate. We're just in a pub, in the middle of Edinburgh. But
man,
normal...
tourists, man, they're fucking the worst.
I think he was English. We can forgive him.
No,
but
he can't. He's like, oh, you're having a conversation. Let me ask something, because I'm an idiot. I can't find the toilet.
He's walked up. We're literally in a fucking corner. Like, obviously, the toilet's not here.
No, the door
Why don't
is...
you just piss on this TV, man?
In the corner over there,
But don't you feel like normal is subjective? Like, the way that
But
I
there is
view normal...
a normal. Of course, it's
What
subjective.
is the normal?
It's whatever the story you're told is.
No, but that's normal for you. That's not normal for me.
Mm-hmm.
You
What
know
is
what I
normal
mean?
for you?
There is no normal for anybody, okay? There is no normal. Normal is not a real thing because when I have thoughts, okay, I sometimes think crazy things, okay? And then I think, that's not normal, okay? Then I speak to people like you, I speak to other comedians, I speak to just regular people, and they maybe echo the same things that I've thought, and I was like, I thought they were normal. Maybe they're not normal like me. And then other people will say the same thing, but maybe they're a different skin color, or they're a different religion, or they've had a completely different upbringing to me, like you, growing up in Romania. Did you grow up in a religious family?
Not particularly.
Okay. I grew up in a devout Christian family, like very heavily religious, okay? So we have very different upbringings, but we can agree on the same sort of ideologies, but there's probably some things that we disagree on, because normal doesn't exist.
There is... I disagree with that. There is a consensus, human consensus of what the ballpark we're talking about, what good is and what bad is.
Okay, so good and bad, I feel like there's a normal, but there's not a normal in terms of behaviors, beliefs, and ideologies.
The ideas of religious ideas of kindness and sharing, and they're universal. It's not that, there's Satanists who maybe go like, hey, But
and I'm very thankful for that.
Every religion, that's what they're preaching.
Absolutely. I don't know how
Same
you
thing.
felt. When you came from, did you come straight from Romania to London?
No, I went to the United States for a few months. I lived in Denmark for a year.
Okay. And when you arrived in London,
Yeah.
the first 6 months, how did you feel?
I was a student.
Okay.
Yeah. I felt like I feel different as an individual, not necessarily. Like I feel weird here, I feel weird in Romania. I feel like the things that I do, they're too disgusting for intellectuals and too pretentious for idiots. So I've always felt like in a weird spot.
Okay.
But not because I'm Romanian, but because of how I am.
See, I felt like when I moved, so I was born in New Zealand, but I grew up in Australia, and when I was 11 years old, I moved from New Zealand to Australia. And even though everyone else in the world lumps them together, when you have a different accent and you go to a high school in a different country, you get bullied, you get segregated, you're different. And even though you're slightly different, like, what's the closest country to Romania?
What do you mean?
What's
The closest one?
geographically?
There's a few of them. It's like we don't live in the fucking end of the world like you guys.
Okay.
Oh, there's one country
Pick
close
one.
by.
Pick one.
Ukraine.
Okay.
Bulgaria, Hungary, former Republic of Yugoslavia.
Let's pick Bulgaria, because I know someone from Bulgaria, right? If you was to go from Romania to Bulgaria, although you may have so many similarities,
They have a different language and a different alphabet.
absolutely, there's stark differences.
Yeah.
You will feel left out. You will feel lost. And the same as when I moved from
But
English
this is kids,
speaking.
man. We're talking. I feel like this is a mistake that people make. Like the experiences that you have as a child with other kids that are just fucking mean.
I had the same experiences when I was an adult, and I moved from Australia at 22 years old to England, and I didn't fit in here either.
Yeah.
And I had to find my way, and it took me a long time.
But that's what it means to be an adult.
Absolutely it does. But don't you feel like there's a point where there's a lot of people, because I'm who I am and because I talk how I talk and I say what I say, that will
What do you say? You're not saying outlandish things. Well, except for the racial things, but let's go. Yeah.
When I was doing stand-up, but even when I wasn't doing stand-up, just the way that I presented myself, even my accent now is different to when I first came here. I've lived here for almost 2 years now. Like, my accent, because it's easy for me to adapt to British, some people, I went back to Australia and everyone said, you sound like you're from England.
Yeah. What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say, there isn't really a truly globally inclusive culture, and that everywhere you go, whether it's direct racism where people are directly attacking you, or whether it's indirect racism where people won't make an effort with you or won't try with you to get along because you're just slightly different to them, or because you're 22 years old and they've known each other since they were 15. It's hard to break into that. And I wanted to just see if that was something that you had.
I think this is a big problem when it comes to interpreting a story and the experiences that we have here. I feel like this is playing into the whole victimhood, like,
everyone
phenomenon.
wants to be a victim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm sure you made friends here.
I have, yeah.
And
since I
that's
joined
the
comedy.
Not everyone is gonna go like, oh, thank you very much for coming to this country and moving into the house where my friends lived for 60 years, and now because of the financial situation, they had to leave their house, and now you live there as an immigrant. Of course, they're gonna feel a certain way, like it's a human thing. But not everyone is gonna like you anywhere you go. And we keep concentrating on that, on the people who are different, who treat you different. But you forget the fact that you made friends here. And that's what matters. Also, the new relationships that we make are never going to be like the ones at home that we've been with. Like, I know a guy since we were 6. Like, he's still my best friend.
Yeah.
Who am I going to meet now that I'm going to have this 25-year-old like long relationship with? There's no one in the world that's gonna be like that guy. There's gonna be other people with other roles, with other types of relationships, but we can't find that. And I think that's looking into the data in a way that we're trying to find of course people are not gonna like us. But they're not going to like us anywhere you go.
Do you feel like, though, since you've left, so that guy that you've been friends with for 25 years, right, and the fact that you'll never find that with somebody else, right?
But I'm going to find other things.
That's what I wanted to find out, because do you ever feel like, what's the point? What's the point in trying to find something else with someone else?
You don't
if
try
it's
to find. People just happen. Relationships happen. Love, you fall in love. You don't go online, let's look for friends. They have similar interests. We need to be friends. Humans don't work like that. You just happen to fall into relationships. You fall into friendships. You fall into all sorts of relations. That's how I feel. Like, because it feels like this whole comedy thing, like this festival is just doing my head in with just ass kissers, and like they're talking to you, and then a famous person comes along, and then they just leave and they talk to them, and I'm like, this is not genuine human relation. But we are like, you meet people and you just click. That's how people work, and especially in the arts, man. It's like it's the most welcoming like job in the world. Like in art, like racial barriers, gender barriers, sexuality barriers were broken way before the rest of the people broke. Like musicians white and black have been playing music since forever because they bond over something more than just the superficial. That's what I believe in, and I feel like, again, concentrating on the differences is all good and pretty and everything, but they've always been used against us. We forget our humanity. We forget that at the bottom, we both need to drink now because we're thirsty. We're gonna have to go to the bathroom. We're gonna have to eat. We're gonna have to hug someone at some point to feel good. We're sharing the same experience in much more than anything that makes us different. Anything that makes us different from our upbringing. We are more alike than we are different.
And I feel like that's like been emphasized so much, like you said, at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, where you see another comedian, right, and you might have a conversation with, you might not even know them, but you share that common experience of having a narcissistic, self-centered profession that is almost very self-fulfilling, and you really do this for yourself. As much as you tell people you do it for other people, you do this for yourself. The reason why you're here is so that you can feel good.
Yeah, but you understand that, because I feel like, for example, like critics, I think being a critic is one of the lowest form of existence. But people choose to do that. Right? They're still human, but, barely. But what other performers understand is exactly what it means to do comedy, what it means to have a thought, how difficult it is to turn that thought into something that elicits laughter, how difficult it is to bomb, how difficult it is to recover from that, how wonderful it feels to get a laugh, how wonderful it feels.
A genuine laugh.
Yeah. To make a whole room just explode when you say a word, just woo. Other comedians understand that. Even if it's solitary, even if it's self-centered, we understand each other through that. And there's I walk on the street and I see people that I've met at other festivals. I met them in Edinburgh years ago. I know them from London. Like we met briefly in Manchester.
Me and you. Yeah, we met at the Frog and Bucket.
Yeah.
You fucking smashed at the Frog and Bucket, and I was like, he's a fun guy.
But when we meet each other and we talk about what we're going through, we understand how it feels to have a bad day, have a crowd that's just, because some crowds are just fucking,
I had 0 people at my show today. 0. I have one guy. I lie. I have one guy that he didn't want to see the show.
You know where they're going? They're going to see the newcomers, the ones that have been nominated. Okay. Anyway, that's another conversation to be had.
Absolutely. And I've not invested.
That's class right there.
Absolutely. I've not invested a lot of money in the Fringe.
People who build themselves as working class comedians and they pay thousands of pounds to be in a venue. That's the problem. You know what I mean? All these people, like, my parents were working class. Fuck off. You are not. You know what I mean?
You're rich.
Huh?
They're rich.
It's like, anyway.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, look, Victor, we've done almost an hour. I
Yeah.
need to go and have a piss.
We've done an hour. We've
done
spoke.
almost an hour. 54 minutes.
Yeah.
But thank you. Thank
Is
you
this
so
going
much for
online?
taking-
Oh my
is-
God.
This is it, mate.
My career is gonna skyrocket over here. From here all the way to Saskatchewan. That's Don Rickles' joke. I love Don Rickles.
I need to go and piss, but is there anyone that you
This
want
is
to
very
thank
classy.
before
Huh?
you go? Anyone you want to say thank you to?
Thank you. No.
Okay.
What do you mean, thanks? Thanks for... I'm not winning any... What am I winning? What... Is this like an acceptance speech? I want to thank God Almighty for just being the reason why people have murdered each other for generations. I want to thank... I don't know, Don Rickles for being funny.
You're so Romanian.
Can't I just be an individual?
That was just... I've never asked someone have they got anyone to thank, and they say nobody, and then they just literally just go on a fucking rant of random people.
Don Rickles, man, fantastic. Just, like everyone says, oh, I hate this, I hate that, I don't like this. But what about the people we really like?
Yeah.
We don't talk enough about the people that really make a change. You know what I mean? Like listening to Chris Rock or Seinfeld or like Bill Burr or Norm or Louis or Don or just, you know what I mean? These people that just, they're fantastic. They're distilled their personalities and their thoughts, and they made like wonderful things that I'm obsessed with.
You don't understand how much I need to piss.
Huh?
I need to piss.
Oh,
right now.
I'm glad that your bladder is more important than the future of humanity.
Thank you so much, Victor.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, man, for having me on the show.
Thanks a lot.